6:30 on a Friday, and this is your host for the next 25 minutes of Hotline 21. And of course, on a Friday, things are always good. I must tell you, it has been one fantastic week. I've been to so many great things that are going on until it's just not funny. I was with an organization the other day, Build, and they are building a great facility for kids in the South Lawndale community. A whole campus, probably more than a $20 million facility. They've raised much of the money that they need in order to do it, and BMO Bank pledged and gave them $1 million. So there are a lot of good things going on. I left there and went over to the Primo Center new housing program on Madison Street, 4952. And I must tell you, it's the best looking shelter I have ever seen in my life in terms of a shelter for people who have no place to live, no place to stay, women and children who have been misused and abused. I want to commend all of those social service agencies for the outstanding work that they are doing. And then I'll give you a little update on some of the big ticket things that are going on all over the country. There's an update. We've been talking every day about the child tax credit and what that injection would mean. Hot off the press from the Joint Economic Committee, I'm going to actually read this. The expanded child tax credit helped almost 61 million children and gave eligible families an average of $428 in August 2021. Already, we've been talking about this since July and saying that the money would begin to flow. Well, as of July the 15th, it did begin to flow. And in August of 2021, the second round of monthly payments from the newly expanded child tax credit hit families' bank accounts. The American Rescue Plan dramatically increased the value of the CTC from $2,000 per child up to $3,600 per child under 6 and $3,000 per child 6 and older. If you know anybody who have children and they earn, if it's a single person, and that person earns $75,000 a year or less, they are eligible for this expanded tax credit if they have children 17 and under. And so if you know anybody and they have not already started to get in their money, please let them know that it is available. And if it's a two working person family, and they don't earn $150,000 or more together, they are eligible if they have children. Make sure. Let me see how much money Illinois has already got. Illinois, since it started, AJKLHI Illinois has already gotten 729,023,299 already, and it just started around July the 15th. The expanded child tax credit is expected to cut child poverty in half, leading to big long term benefits for families and communities. The expanded child tax credit is expected to cut childhood poverty in half, which research shows will have long term benefits for families and communities. For example, researchers found that an extra $3,000 in a family's annual income when a child is younger than 5 leads to 19% higher future earnings. Other research on investments in early childhood finds that increase in family incomes has tangible outcomes for children, including higher test scores and high school and college graduation rates, improved health outcomes, lower rates of incarceration, and reduced need for future income support. All of this stuff is real. And if you qualify, make sure that you find out how to get your money. If you don't know how to get it, guess what? You can call my office, 773-533-7520. And somebody should always be there to help you figure out how to get this money. Let's not let one dime go to waste. Let's not let any of it not be used. Your children will love you for it. I guarantee you. They will love you for it because of what it can do and allow you to do for them. So make sure that you access this money and that you get it and you make use of it and you use it to the hilt. Don't let it pass you up. Now, there are a lot of other good things going on. The Billiken Parade is back, and it's tomorrow. And it's all about having fun. It's about bringing families together. And it's about getting our children ready to go back to school. So if you can bring your child out to King Drive and you all can watch all of the entries, and guess what? I am going to be there. I'm going to be front and center, marching and walking and talking and drinking water and doing all the things you do at a great parade. I might even be singing a little. You know, school day, dear old golden rule day. Reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of a hickory stick. You was my gal in calico, and I was your handsome barefoot beau. Humpty, Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So, those are good old school day songs. Up in the morning, out to school. Teachers are teaching the golden rule, American history and practical math. You study hard and hoping you pass. That's when they had rock and roll, and kids would rock and roll to a good song, good, clean song like that. Not I told that B, get out to C, O to the D. Not that kind of song. But school day, dear old golden rule day. Reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of a hickory stick. You was my gal in calico, and I was your handsome barefoot beau. And all kind of good stuff. And if you don't make it to the Bud Billiken Parade, don't despair, because the next Saturday, on the 21st, I am having my 40th annual back to school picnic and parade, and it won't be on King Drive. It's going to be on the west side of the city of Chicago, and the picnic is going to be in Columbus Park. We will be giving vaccinations for everybody who have not been vaccinated. We'll be giving away face masks to everybody that needs a face mask. And we encourage you, even if you've been vaccinated, wear your face mask. Yeah, don't give it up. Wear your face mask. Make sure that your face is covered. That is, your nostrils are covered, your mouth is covered, and practice all of the health protocols. That's going to be Saturday, August the 21st. We're going to be marching down Central to Madison Street and down Madison Street, and then over to Jackson and then into Columbus Park. And of course, we will have book bags and school supplies and hot dogs and soda pop and orange juice and apple juice. All the good stuff that you have. And the whole idea is to motivate our children, to convince them that education is the key. And if you don't have a certain level of formal training, education, then some of all these jobs, they claim that there are 1,000,000 available jobs right now in the United States of America that have not been filled. And so if you don't have any training, if you can't really seriously read and write and do arithmetic and know how to maneuver your way through situations and know how to make use of your smartphone and your computer, then those jobs are there, but you won't be able to get them. And you'll look and you'll see people driving by in their fine cars and all of that. You won't have one. And so all you can do is watch them as they go by, leaning, driving, and you'll be standing there wishing and waiting your children will grow up not able to make use of all the wonderful things that they are. You can even fly an airplane. You can fly so high. You can go way up and away. But you have to learn in order to be able to do that, to know which button to push. So start early. Parents, make sure that your children get as much education as they can possibly get. Teach them while they're young to start reading at an early age. You know, the good thing about reading is that the more you read, the more you want to read more. I mean, if a person likes to read, you never have to be lonely. You don't have to be bored. You don't have to stand around or sit around saying there's nothing to do. Sometimes I want to take issue when I hear people saying, well, but our children don't have anything to do, meaning that they may not have exactly to do what you want them to have to do. But I can tell you, for a person who likes to read, there is no such thing as nothing to do. Because you can always get yourself a good book. You can entertain yourself. You can amuse yourself. You can enlighten yourself. You can do all kinds of things just by reading. So learn early to read, and read anything. Read poetry. Read prose. You know, I just happen to have liked to read when I was a young person, and I still like to read. I read as much as I can every day. And so I want to thank this parade of ours is going to line up starting around 8 or 9 o'clock. And let me tell you, we be lining up and stepping off and stepping out. And I want to thank all of those who are participating with us. The Austin People's Action Center, APAC, Sankofa Safe Child Initiative, the Chicago West Side Branch NAACP, the Bright Leadership Institute, the Gift of Hope, Mothers on a Mission, 28 Safe Streets, Introspect Youth Service, Fathers Who Care, the Near West Section Club, Metropolitan Farms, Black Men United, Chance Ministries, Westside Ministers Coalition, Alexander Movers, Ashanti Residential, Concerned Citizens, Mother's House, Loretta Hospital, the Loretta Foundation, Habilitative Systems Incorporated. And I need to tell you, I went to a retreat this morning that PLCCA, a great organization out in Proviso Township, had their retreat, and they've been in business over 50 years. The founder of that organization, Bishop Claude Porter, and the whole, let me tell you, I was so geeked up and excited until by the time I left there, I left running. I didn't leave walking because I was so inspired by the tremendous work that they have done and the tremendous work in mental health, helping people whose rent is due and getting rent assistance money, helping landlords get their money that's owed to them and that is due them, helping youth, young people. There are so many interesting things going on until it's just not funny. Good stuff, good things, until it almost makes you forget that the pandemic is here. But we can't forget the pandemic because if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. So we must try and make sure and maintain our health. And the only way that we can do that is to practice all of the public health protocols that we know about. and try and make sure that everybody gets vaccinated. If you have not been vaccinated, especially if you are an adult, I say you basically, unless there's a health reason or some reason that you shouldn't be, if that's not the case, then you ought to be ashamed of yourself, because not only are you endangering yourself, but you're also endangering all of the other people with whom you come into contact. If I was going to endanger myself, I wouldn't want to endanger anyone else. I'm saying I wouldn't want to harm you because, for whatever the reason is, that I won't get a vaccination. That's been proven to be the most effective weapon that we know about in terms of trying to arrest and keep down the virus. The only way, it's what we know. Practice social distances. Wash your hands. Do it often. I mean, if you feel ill, don't go to work. Take off whatever days you need to take off. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather that you take a day off than come to work and infect or run the risk of infecting everybody else. But just, oh, there are just so many wonderful things. Churches are reopening, and those that are reopening tell me that they are practicing public health protocols, that they're being safe. They are checking people before they come in to make sure that you don't have a fever, or make sure that your temperature is where it ought to be. And so if you practice and do things right, I am so happy to know that the Lollapalooza didn't produce any great spread of the virus. At least that's what we're being told, and I believe it. I don't believe that the health officials in Chicago would blatantly suggest something that was not true. Finally, I had lunch with the mayor of the city of Chicago today, and it was a very pleasant, very interesting lunch. There were 6 of us who had lunch with her, 6 members of Congress, myself, Representative Quigley, Representative Newman, Representative Bobby Rush, Representative Robin Kelly, and myself. And we discussed everything you could imagine that we would have discussed. But you got 6 members of Congress, you got the mayor of the 3rd largest city in the United States sitting down, breaking bread, and trying to figure out. One of the main things I said to the mayor, and I say to anybody, one of the best ways that I know to decrease violence is to make sure that our communities are organized. So I'm a big fan of block club organizing, because when people are organized and together, they set the pace. They determine. Don't look for somebody else to do what you and what we have to do for ourselves. I can drive down a block and tell you without anybody telling me whether or not they actually have a good block club. You can just tell. So if you live on a block and you don't already have a block club, don't wait for somebody else to initiate it. Initiate it yourself. Say to your neighbor, hey man, uh, let's start a block club. Say, sister girl, let's start a block club. Hey, Miss Mary, let's start a block club. Uncle John, let's start a block club. You remember that song? Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He pretend he has the misery, but he have a lot of fun. Oh, baby, gonna have some fun tonight. Well, block club meetings are a lot of fun. I've been to a lot of them, and it's good to sit and be a part of people planning how they can make their environment as safe as it can possibly be, how they can make sure that their neighborhood is as desirable as it can be, where they can make sure that all of their children are going to school every day, that they have an opportunity to exercise and play, that their boys have a Boy Scouts or girls have a Girl Scout. I used to be on a block where the women would teach the girls how to bake, and the girls would learn how to make cookies and bake, and the boys would learn how to help clean up and do things. I met a lady yesterday who's just adopted 3 little children. And let me tell you, she is a policeman with the Chicago Police Department and just a wonderful individual. So I close with a little salute to her, because when you save the children, you save the society. It's been a pleasure being with you for this 1/2 of an hour. Have a wonderful night, a greater day tomorrow, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget the Billiken Parade tomorrow and the Danny Davis Back to School Picnic and Parade next Saturday, August the 21st. We hope to see you at one and perhaps both. Have a good night.